2, I would want to have enough strength so that I will be able to wear at least Monarch Shield to make a Spirit, because right now I'm running... I legit was in the queue for half an hour and now you say I cannot connect to the server. I was literally staying there like when opening the game for half an hour. Cannot connect to the server. Yes, that's one issue that I wanted to discuss during this particular stream. Maybe made even separate video, but god damn, this literally sucks for both us as a PC users and console users. Like, what the fuck? This is not a multi-million MMORPG, and the fact that they are making up all this pathetic excuse, oh, we couldn't do this, we couldn't do this. Half an hour queue just to see disconnect from the server, and fuck you, go play something. And again, 340 people. For what? So that it will disconnect me again? Like, literally 2 minutes of gameplay. Great. So much for farming Kandariel, I suppose. Yes, probably I would have to rename the stream later down the line, because lo and behold, we'll be staring at the queue screen for half an hour. Even though I just did it before launching the stream. Over-exaggerating a bit? Yeah, maybe, sure, but that's their fault, not mine. Like, why does Amazon, with their servers in New World, had been able to fix their problems and have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands more people playing their game, and Blizzard are, oh, for remaster we could not do this. For remaster. It's not even a new project. Yes, exciting stuff. And all of this blue post that they were saying, oh, that's people's fault, that's streamers' fault, that's our hardware's fault, and yada yada yada, who to blame, like everyone's fault but not their own. No, you cannot blame Blizzard, no, because otherwise you'll be just a regular hater. We did not expect so many people playing on weekends. We did not expect so many people playing on Mondays. What on? Yeah, like on Tuesdays. Yeah, what would have so much bots and people and bots and streamers and people? Wow, unbelievable. I legit should have just created an offline character and stick to offline mode, considering that major part of both of my items, my personal items and my brother's items, came out from simply us playing through the game and not even like trading with everybody else or playing in a party. So that I won't have to put up with this shit, like staring at the screen for another half an hour. Great beginning of the stream. Okay, I mean, what are you gonna do? So... no-brainer that a lot of people want to play on weekends, and the fact that I got disconnected and I have to wait again through this line... craziness. What's the position in the queue? Yeah, still at 340. So the way how this thing works is, I don't know if you are aware, you'll wait for a couple of minutes, dozens of minutes, until this position of queue will be shifted towards... couple like towards a different number, like 200 people plus, and then you will be able to play. Then eventually, when you will be the first in line, you will have your list of characters. You will be able to choose from it and play the game. But this doesn't mean that you're protected from random disconnects, like in my case. And when you're disconnected, it's not like, oh, you can immediately go back in the game. No, the queue resets and you will just have to play through it again. But the baffling thing about this whole situation is, again, it's not overhyped. This is not some kind of overhyped project like I don't know, expansion for an MMO or a new game like highly anticipated by millions of people. No, nothing like that. I mean, in retrospective, to be honest, if I I can disclose the stuff that I had been playing. Like later, outside of Diablo 2, I've been trying out beta for Battlefield 2042, and yes, you can connect in this game, but the technical quality of this game is nowhere near on the same level that you would expect from Battlefield. So it's like modern companies and their problems with creating, and not only creating, but supporting on the systematic level, on the hardware level, the demand of a lot of people just entering and playing this game without having the ping issue, random disconnects, losing on their character. This is something that they cannot do. They can advertise those games on the good level. They can sell those games via this advertising, or just recommending some kind of like sideline projects connected to this game, but they cannot support it. I mean, if this keeps happening when it comes to at least like Blizzard and their Diablo 2, you can only imagine how bad it would be like Diablo 4. I'm not saying from the gameplay perspective, but from the technical standpoint. The game that requires constant online to be playing as if you're playing an MMORPG, and then the queue is gonna be not 300 people, 3,000, 30,000 people, and then you will sit like, oh, but the difference is that you cannot hit the escape button to play offline, you know? That's number one. And number two, the Diablo 4 is designed in a way, yeah, like I got randomly disconnected. I played for 1 minute, I was going in the inner cloister to bug out my merc, and then the pop-up message says, boom, you're randomly disconnected. Like, you're disconnected from the server. And then it resets and it puts you back in the queue. Great, like, I waited half an hour just for this shit to occur. Terrible stuff. So yeah, like I've been saying, in Diablo 4 you won't have this option to actually hit the escape, hit any button to play in offline mode. You would be forced to play only on online, and this game it will be designed in such a fashion that a lot of activities, aka quests, could only be performed. Yeah, I agree that the quality, the technical standpoint quality sucks. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and saying, oh, give them a slack, because they did not expect such a popular uprising of people, as if there's like millions of men and women suddenly reappeared or coming back to Diablo 2, playing, like quitting WoW, quitting other games, and just bombarding the servers with bots and real people, and the servers could not handle it. Again, I brought as an example when somewhat the same thing happened in New World. It actually had been resolved via Amazon company buying a shit ton of, like, a lot of new servers. People won't have to wait in queue anymore, not as long. They could easily like log in and play, and done. Like, the problem solved. They did not invented the patch which manually restricted the players from joining the game by having these random delays, waiting in queues because your servers are so fragile they could not handle the load. Oh boy, like, shame on you that you want to play like in masses in this game. Why would you even if this is the case, why would you even create the online mode? Like, for what reason? You cannot support it, disable it. Like, say, sorry, we screwed up, you can only play on offline mode. We cannot, like, otherwise you would have to, like, and okay, let's say I will sit through the line like half an hour more, and for what? Like, I could not even done one single run today. Like, 2 minutes, boom, random disconnect, fuck it. Like, why would I bother? Like, why would anyone bother playing online mode? So, returning back to Diablo 4, there has been, if you haven't watched, what you call them, the gameplay segments, tons of activities there. Yeah, I talked about it. It's not happening only on PCs. There's like on consoles, on Switch, on PlayStation 4, on PlayStation 5, on new Xbox. It's like your problem. We are working, yes, working our asses off to resolve this issue. Amazon can resolve it like in a span of like day or two. You are working still working to handle this, yes. And this is your proof how effective your work is. Regardless, like in Diablo 4, in those gameplay segments, there's a lot of activities that requires constant, not only constant online presence, but players, so that you will be able to perform them. AKA, just like in MMO, you're going in the dungeon, there is like, oh, you have this amount of people out of this amount of people. And when you don't have enough people, you cannot enter the dungeon, period. The same thing with bosses. If you don't have enough people, or if there's some kind of a glitch or a bug, the boss won't spawn. Like, it will say, this event requires, I've played a lot of similar games, this event requires this amount of, X amount of people out of, like, let's say 10. And when somebody's gonna, like, disconnect and so on and so forth, it won't gonna work properly. Like, it won't even launch. Or let's say you're fighting and then this is not going to register correctly and you will have to do this whole thing again and waiting for a queue. Like, fuck this, seriously, why would anyone want to put up with this? This isn't, I repeat for everyone, this isn't a this isn't an indie company, first and foremost. Secondly, Diablo 2 Resurrected is a remaster of the old game. Granted, popular to an extent, but not as popular as the new project aimed for the millions of people in terms of the audience. So, one would think the guy that is unfamiliar with the whole situation about the Blizzard and their problems, that it is not going to be, at least the technical situation here is not going to be so, what's the best way to describe it, so bad, so that you cannot play it and you're forced to wait in queues over and over again. And this is happening not only on weekends. Yesterday the same thing happened, the day before yesterday the same thing happened. So what, we're gonna deal with all of this crap over and over and over again just because we wanted to play offline? And having my reason, you know what my reason why I have why me and my brother created characters in for the online mode, and we did not want to play in offline mode for only one reason. Not because we wanted to trade, because at a later date there has been a rumor that they might have implement the crossplay function between the PC users and console users. Considering we own a PS4, we figured, okay, we could level up a character here, and later on, like once the crossplay will be enabled, if it will be enabled, we could start like playing simultaneously on PC and on PlayStation, help each other out via runes and other items. That's the number one goal. But considering this issue already happening across all kinds of like platforms, PC and console alike, there's no way, the reason to continue to play online in this state. I'm not saying in the future it cannot be fixed, but in this state, that's pathetic. That's literally pointless. Like, seriously, and another reason for other people, the reason might be different. Like, they might expect the implementation of the mod support in online mode as well as offline mode, but come on, like this, after this, no. Like I will not believe that I will not believe that the hype for and the amount of people for projects such as Diablo 2 Resurrected is equivalent to such games as like new Call of Duty, which millions of people are expecting, or Battlefield, which also millions of people are expecting and have played on the open beta. And none of this shit had happened. Like, even in Diablo, the freakiest thing about it, even in Diablo 3, yes, we, both myself and my brother, we were the ones who played Diablo 3 at launch. We were more than familiar with the Error 37 kind of stuff and all of the issues that had been unlaunched. Yet, throughout several days / weeks, it has been fixed, and none of those stuff had happened afterwards, as well as none of the same stuff happened when the Reaper of Souls had launched, the one and only expansion for Diablo 3. It has been silky smooth for the most part, except for the cases when bots were invaded the auction house, the real money auction house, /gold money auction house in Blizzard was trying to say, oh well, we are trying to combat them /fix them, ban them, and so on and so forth. In reality, it's not the case, at least not to an extent as Blizzard proclaims it to be to a major populace, as you would believe that they're working their asses off to like support to actually to make the quality of this game be as high as possible. None of this thing had happened. None of the same thing had happened that I am seeing right now, like position in the queue. Hilarious, like literally hilarious. Yes, this segment is gonna, even though this could be considered a random thought, but I'll upload the segment to YouTube. Let the people know, okay, if you were on the fence whether or not you should jump over and play Diablo 2 Resurrected, at least in online mode, like with your friends, or just for the sake of trading with other people, yes, I will going to include not only this screenshot, but screenshots that I took from yesterday, screenshots that I took from the day before yesterday. How cool it is, like, to be to wait for half an hour in the queue, play the 2 minutes, and then boom, wait half an hour in the queue again. Great gameplay. I should rename this. I should rename the stream later down the line. Playing in the this is the core game. Nowadays, this is the core gameplay of Diablo 2. Waiting in queue. Waiting in queue and creating mules to shuffle items back and forward. I'll wait, I'll see. Okay, I will log into my sorceress, but if the game is going to disconnect me again, either in the midst of my Andariel runs, at the beginning of my Andariel runs, or right afterwards, I am going to just spend some time to play offline with some random character and call it a day, because this is unbelievable. This only motivates me. My brother already beaten Diablo 2, like on hell difficulty. He is just farming to get his character stronger and other characters stronger, like just to save some items for future characters. But if this queue problem keeps reoccurring, queue and disconnects problem, then probably we will be dropping off online mode for a while. I don't know for how long, until this problem would be resolved, and we will stick to offline mode with the characters that we haven't played. My brother wanted to play the druid, I let him play the druid. Myself, I'll probably go with a necromancer, with a bone necro, and I'll be playing him. Despite the fact that on the previous stream I was able to obtain like best in slot, I have watched it like a best in slot dagger for poison necro and some insane gloves. Until this online issue would be fixed, we will stick to offline mode. There's no reason, like launching the stream and staring at the queue screen, great. And then enter the game, boom, random disconnect. Remaster. No wonder this game has like 3.3 score on Metacritic. Not necessarily talking about the drawbacks that the gameplay that the game has in terms of core gameplay. People upset more so about the technical standpoint, not necessarily about how this game looks or plays. With some exception, the one that I have talked about on the previous stream in terms of the game's speed, etc. But you know my opinion, like my opinion and my brother's opinion on Diablo 2, this is our favorite hack and slash RPG to this date, but we acknowledge its flaws. And we can talk about it, and we have already played in the games that have evolved beyond some drawbacks and flaws that Diablo 2 had, including games like Grim Dawn, Last Epoch, Path of Exile, even Diablo 3 to an extent, if we're talking about the gameplay as from the melee perspective, like Barbarian, for instance. But still, returning, like, I would want to re-experience. I would want to something something motivates me to return and playing these old games, including Diablo 2. Like, that's the main reason why I have purchased it. Not not first. The main reason wasn't really why I purchased it just to stare at the queue screen. Another thing that my brother had, I just remembered that my brother brought an interesting point about this blue post when they were saying, oh, because like in the past when streamers, when people were playing the game, they have not created so much games, and they have not created the games so fast, they have not exited from them and entering back, in comparison to nowadays, which had resulted into more load on the servers, and thusly it created the server instability issues. But in in comparison, if you look at something like World of Warcraft Classic, the reappearance of World of Warcraft Classic or World of Warcraft Burning Crusade, there hasn't been the same amount of problem that we are forced to deal with in Diablo 2. Even though the amount of people that were playing it was way more. So, but the servers were able to handle the load. Great day. Wait half an hour before the stream to occur to get through the queue, play for 2 minutes, wait half an hour, and then talk about some random stuff. Just to wait in the queue. Oh boy.